Oftentimes, I talk about how women build women build men. Like that's just like a thing that I've seen happen to me. Many people, anybody who knows me, anybody who has listened to my story, I will be the first one to tell you that my wife has, through a lot of uh, uh, pain and and cajoling and patience and guidance, she has made me into the person that I am today. Right. Um, Definitely there was a foundation laid. Definitely I had to make choices and blah 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 blah. Yes, I know that, and I had to do the work. Yes, absolutely. But without her guidance, without her uh, belief in me, without her motivation, without her knowledge, without her education, like I wouldn't be where I'm at. Right. I say all of that just to, well, a couple of things that I just always want to big my wife up as much as possible because she's awesome and she's did so much for me. But I don't have a problem saying that, right? There's no shame. There's no shame in that for me because it happened, you know. I'm also the same man that I would never suggest or I don't think it's a woman's duty to do that. My wife wanted to do that for me. She wanted to help me. She wanted to stick with me through me becoming a better person and me whatever, me becoming successful, whatever, right? Like she wanted to stay with me. I didn't make her. She could have left anytime. She still could leave if she wants to. Don't tell her that. I don't want her to leave, but she still could leave, and she has it, and she's still here, right? That is a choice that she made as an adult. Is that was that her requirement though? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's the difference. I've never felt like it was a woman's job to build up a man. I never even thought that I needed my wife to build me up. I never consciously had that thought, right? But that was because of my misogyny. That was because I wasn't giving her the credit for you know what I mean? Like I would fight her tooth and nail, and it's a struggle, right? Men are combative for no reason. We're egotistical. We have a lot of narcissistic tendencies and so on and so forth. So it's hard to build with a person that is fighting you every single, like the whole way, right? Like, so my son, he's on the spectrum, and you guys hear him in the back right now. He he's very rigid, right? There have been times when I've tried to get my son to eat something like something that's chocolate that he loves. I know he's gonna like it. Like I know he's gonna like it. It's not like I think he's gonna like it. I know he's going to like it. Pizza, something, right? Like he eats pizza from Mod Pizza, if you guys know what Mod Pizza is. But there are other places like Mod, like Blaze Pizza, makes the same fucking pizza, right? But if if I put a Mod Pizza inside of a Blaze box, he wouldn't eat it. If I put a Blaze Pizza inside of a Mod box, he would eat it. If I don't put either pizza inside of either box and I just put it on a plate, it looks like Mod, so he'll eat it, right? My point is that when you try to get him, because he's so rigid and irrational, it creates this irrational fear because of his rigidity. He fights you tooth and nail to do things that benefit him, that it'll benefit him. My son has been mad at us, and we were taking him to an amusement park because he just didn't know where we were going. You know what I mean? So I say all of that to say men kind of act like we're like men are kind of like all on the spectrum in that way. No, I'm just playing. Not being ableist. Men are, but we just act, we are rigid and we are prideful. And that is a terrible combination when you're trying to work with the person or quote unquote build or help a person build, right? But I found this example today and I thought it was very interesting to hear how this played out. And many men have this same story. We like a lot of us, we have this, like I could think of like 3 of my friends off the top of my head whose wives did this exact same thing for them. Like almost, you know what I'm saying? Like some similar or the exact same thing. So this is very, this encapsulates like kind of like what it looks like for women to build men.
You guys meet at Red Lobster. You
Yep.
guys have known each other for 18 years.
Yep.
You've been married for how long?
12.
When did you tell her that you were going to become a professional fighter?
I was already in amateur. I had one amateur fight, and she'd been in all my amateur fights.
You never said you were going to be a professional fighter.
Yeah.
You're like, it's a hobby. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think you have a gift. Yeah.
So you never sat her down?
No.
We talked about, because it was like full-time job, and I worked 3 or 4 jobs in and out in the beginning of a relationship, and I was one who took care of everything so that he could train. Yeah, then it got to a point where it's like, do you really see that you could be making a living doing this? And it was like, well, you're going to have to quit your full-time job eventually. I'm like, yeah, if you want to roll, we'll do it. We like it.
This is almost exactly like me personally. Once again, I get this story. My wife never worked 3 or 4 jobs, but my wife worked like she was the steady income, right, at one point in time. Or if it wasn't that, it was she what am I looking for? She like my wife has invested in my visions several times. Like I would say like at least this is the 3rd time, but she has invested in my vision at least twice. If not more. But 2 major times I can think of where we actually, well, one time we actually like took money that we had saved up and we invested it into a business. And then the other time it was like I did, I took like a gamble, I took a chance or whatever. And it was a job. It was just like a job. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a different field and we took a chance or whatever. And it didn't pan out. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It just was like, I could do something better than this. But we did take a pay cut, like I took a pay cut to work, to work that job or whatever. Right. But my wife has believed in me and she sees that I'm talented. And like she was saying, if you listen to what she said, I could see you have a gift. Like my wife has always known that I have like gifts and she's just been trying to like help me like find the right thing to like harness that energy and to focus it somewhere so I could be successful. Right. She's always motivated me in that way. Always. And like I said, there's been times when like I was the only one making money. There's been times when I was a steady paycheck and she was, working a little job. Like that's whatever. We've been in a long relationship, but I'm just saying like early on, and I wouldn't say early on, just like when we were, like early on in our family, like with the kids, like my wife was like, yeah, don't worry, like you can do it. And she just motivated me to no end. And she just like, she helped me like find the path. She was like, oh, this is what you can do. Like, you're good at this. This is the path. You're good with it. And I was like, yeah. And I did it. And I fucking was successful. And I've been successful. Like every time I listen to her, I'm successful. Like she's never suggested anything or whatever the case may be. And she's never suggested anything. And then like, I did it. I followed it. I listened to her and I wasn't successful. Even in the other things, it wasn't that. It was me. It was like I failed. Like she didn't fail. The business didn't fail. I failed. Right? Like I didn't realize my full potential in that. I didn't stay motivated or, whatever the case may be. I was fighting her. I was, whatever, right? I know so many men who have this same story. But a difference between me and them is honestly, it's just like I ended up being successful and they didn't because I stopped. For the most part, I stopped fighting my wife, to be honest with you. And she'll tell you otherwise if I brought her on. If she ever sees this video, she'll laugh. She'll be like, you still be fighting with me. Because I do. I still push back. But I know that I'm not as rigid. I'm very much more pliable now. And I fully understand that my wife has my best interest at heart. And she's not trying to manipulate me. And she's not trying to control me. Right? And women would be so much more on board with helping men build and building a man, if you will, even I don't care however you want to put it, if men weren't so rigid. But the craziest thing is men need women most of the time to help us build. But then when they start to help us build, we don't like it. We don't want to listen. And then when they get tired of yelling at us to help while helping us build, and they leave us, then we then turn around and blame it. Like, it's like, what the fuck? What do you want? You got to make a choice, man. You have to make a choice. What is it going to be? Are you going to listen to her or are you not? Are you going to make her life a living hell? Or are you going to make it easier? That's like, I got there, guys. I got there. You can get there. I'm telling you, it's really just like a flip of the switch. Your wife isn't your enemy. Your girlfriend's not your enemy. She's not. The mother of your child isn't your enemy. It's so wild how codependent men are, but how reluctant we are to listen to women.
A grind.
Yep.
We like a hustle. We like to have goals. And I think it's like, we'll climb wherever you want to go, we'll go.
Yep.
Train.
But listen,
yeah, then it got to a point where it's like, do you really see that you could be making a living doing this? And it was like, well, you're going to have to quit your full-time job.
That's like, I remember that discussion. My wife was like, literally like, you're talented. You have like a talent. Like, you could do this. And I was like, really? Like, she was the one that motivated me. She was the one that was like, nah, bro, like, what do you, I'm just like, oh, this is like the same thing. I'm like, it's a hobby, it's fun. And, she was like, I mean, it can be that too, but you're fucking great. You can do this. Like, you have a good message. You know what I mean? Like, people like you, like, you can do it. You're natural. And I was just like, she was like, nah, you can do it, man. So where would I be without my wife? I don't know. I don't know where I would be without that woman, but I doubt I would be as happy as I am. I doubt I would be as healthy as I am. And I doubt that I would be as successful as I am. Just being honest. And I'm saying that as a way, I really just want to say that for the men so they can hear it. It doesn't weaken you to say that. It makes you stronger to admit that, right? That's all I'm saying. Like, let's stop playing these games and, acting like we don't need women, right? When you do. And then when the woman wants to help you, you then shame her, then trying to shame the women into helping you. Like, y'all don't want to be with a man no more. Y'all not like our great grannies. And they not, and they won't be because they shouldn't be. Like, we as men should develop ourselves. Don't get me wrong. This is not me saying you should depend on a woman. I'm saying, though, that there are a lot of men who just aren't there, right? And there are women who don't mind helping a man build. But you gotta pick a struggle, though, fam. You gotta pick a struggle. You can't be an asshole and need the woman. That don't even make sense. You can't make it hard on her and need her. Like, what? That's just something that I realized. Like, as I got older, I'm just giving you game. It's free game. You can take it or leave it, whatever it is. But I'm telling you, if you take that approach, you can be successful. If y'all start listening to y'all women, you already in a relationship with them. You might as well listen to them. That's all I'm saying.